The Hyundai IONIQ was the first car ever to go on sale with 3 different forms of electric power. Buyers choose from pure electric propulsion, hybrid propulsion, or, as in this case, a plug-in hybrid model. Given the choice between these 3 options, we think many potential buyers would probably take the plug-in route if money was no object, and it's easy to see why, with up to 32 miles of WLTP-rated all-electric driving range and CO2 emissions as low as 26 grams per kilometre.
Hyundai is serious about eco-motoring, deadly serious. Over the next few years, the company plans to launch a whole portfolio of eco-minded models, including hybrids, PHEVs, full electric vehicles, and even a fuel cell electric model. But it all had to start somewhere, and did so back in 2017 with this IONIQ, which went on sale back then in hybrid, full electric, and this plug-in hybrid form. This is the lightly updated version of the plug-in hybrid model, updated in 2019, and it remains one of the more affordable plug-in contenders of its kind on the market, for the time being anyway, aiming to offer buyers the best of both worlds, the all-electric capability of the full electric IONIQ model and the range capability of the full hybrid version of this car. Sounds promising. In an IONIQ plug-in, there's obviously much more potential for extended full electric use than there is in the ordinary full hybrid model, thanks to the greater capacity of a considerably larger 8.9 kilowatt-hour battery that drives a Pokia 61 PS electric motor. Despite that, total system output remains pegged at 141 PS, so ultimate performance is pretty much the same as it is with the ordinary hybrid variant, though initial acceleration seems a bit quicker thanks to the torque of the electric motor. Mind you, use too much of that and you'll quickly decimate the WLTP-rated 32-mile all-electric driving range. You can keep the car in EV mode by pressing on this EV button near the gear stick. Rest to 62 miles an hour when both petrol engine and electric motor are working in unison takes 10.6 seconds en route to 110 miles an hour. The IONIQ shares the same basic platform as the Kia Niro, which is a very good place to start from. As a result, the Hyundai handles nimbly and takes corners with more composure than you might expect for a car that's main focus is on low running costs and emissions. The only limiting factor is the reduced rolling resistance tyres, but in day-to-day driving you'll find this car very capable. It also enjoys a tight turning circle and steering that's light to turn at low speeds. You can add some more weight to the helm by selecting the Sport mode, but we find this makes it too heavy. Around town, the suspension is on the firmer side of comfortable, but by no means unsettled. Accelerate hard, and you'll really notice the benefits of this IONIQ's use of a proper cog-driven 6DCT dual-clutch auto transmission, a much better gearbox than the jerky belt-driven setup used in a rival Toyota Prius plug-in and in some other PHEVs. There's not much point building a new car that offers 3 different electrified powertrains for the first time ever if you're not going to make the most of every facet of its design. This is why Hyundai has gone to great lengths with the IONIQ to come up with a shape that has a drag coefficient of just 0.24 CD. That makes this one of the most slippery shapes ever for a car as it cuts through the air, which certainly helps reduce energy use and noise. Recent design revisions include a smarter front grille and revised bumper styling. And inside, well, here's a nice touch. The way the electric seat, having slid back to help you get out, automatically slides forward once you get in. The interior of this Hyundai doesn't feel that futuristic. It's not that it's dull in the cabin, it's just that it's not trying to be too clever for its own good, and we rather like that. What you get is a dash that bears a reasonably strong structural resemblance to the Korean company's other more conventional models such as the i30 and the Tucson. That's a very good thing as it's clear and made from excellent materials. There are hints though at what lies beneath the bonnet. You've got a gauge on the left-hand side of the instrument display screen that helps you drive more economically, and you've got a battery readout indicator on the right-hand side, plus an energy monitor in the centre that shows you exactly what's being powered by what. What else? Well, we could do without the musical chimes provided at start-up and powered down, but build quality from the Seoul factory seems strong, and there are some nice soft touch materials used around the fascia. And some eco touches too. The headlining and the carpet use materials taken from sugarcane. Some of the components are painted with renewable ingredients extracted from soybean oil, and the interior door covers are made of natural plastic combined with powdered wood and volcanic stone. Finding and maintaining a comfortable driving position is eased by plenty of seat and wheel adjustability, plus the standard inclusion of electric lumbar support. The general ergonomics seem sound too, though the swept back rear styling means that your view out of the back when parking is rather compromised, both by the swept back roofline and by the central bar across the tailgate glass. That's apparently something Hyundai's well aware of, hence the decision to include rear parking sensors and a rear view camera as standard. Time to move rearwards and take a seat in the rear. Now that's a process that, unless you're really quite short, will involve the need for a slight incline of your head below this sloping roofline. Having done that, you might not be too surprised to find that once inside, as in say a Toyota Prius, headroom is at something of a premium for taller folk. Normally these seats would have been positioned a little lower to compensate for the swept back ceiling, but that's not possible here since they sit right on top of the powertrain's battery pack. At least legroom's quite adequate, even for really quite tall folk, aided by recesses in the front seat backs. And thanks to a low centre transmission tunnel, it should be possible to take 3 adults across the back seat here in reasonable levels of comfort, provided the journey in question isn't too long. Practical touches include a centre armrest with cup holders, netted mat pockets in the seat backs, and door bins just big enough to hold a reasonably sized water bottle. There are twin vents, and you get a coat hook in the right-hand upper grab handle, but unfortunately there are no connectivity ports. Heated seats are provided in the rear in this Premium SE variant. Finally, let's take a look at the boot space on offer. A lot of the latest battery-powered cars we've tested recently have managed to package in their batteries without encroaching on luggage room, but that's not the case here. The 443 litre capacity you get in an IONIQ hybrid falls to 341 litres on this plug-in version, which is actually less than the full electric version of this car. At least there's a bit of extra space beneath the boot floor, though there's no room for any sort of spare wheel. Hyundai provides 4 plastic pull-out tie-down points, but there are no bag hooks, and you don't get a 12-volt socket. When you push the 60/40 split folding rear bench forward, it doesn't free up a completely flat loading area, but you do get as much space as likely buyers will need, 1,401 litres being provided. You'll be paying from around £30,000 for this car in base premium form, or just over £32,000 if you want this plusher Premium SE version. That looks at first glance quite a lot more than is being asked for the full hybrid IONIQ derivative, which starts from around £24,000, but that's because the plug-in model isn't being offered in base SE form, the range limited to those plusher Premium and Premium SE trim levels. Compare against these and you'll find that the extra required to upgrade to plug-in motoring is just under £5,000. A full electric version of the IONIQ costs around £750 more once the available government grant towards purchase, which you can't have with this PHEV variant, is deducted from its higher listed purchase price. This car shares its PHEV powertrain with three close Kia cousins, PHEV versions of the Kia Niro, the Kia Exceed and the Kia Ceed Sportwagon. Key volume brand plug-in hybrid models of similar size from other mainstream manufacturers at around this price point include the Volkswagen Golf GTE, the Ford Kuga PHEV, the Toyota Prius plug-in, the Mini Countryman PHEV and plug-in hybrid versions of the Renault Megane and the Renault Captur. Other PHEVs, even from volume brands, will see you needing to budget well up towards £40,000. That's talked you through your PHEV options at around this price point. If, having considered them, you decide that it is an IONIQ plug-in hybrid that you really want, then you're going to need to know just how generous Hyundai has been with the standard spec. Well, let's see. Highlights with base premium spec include 16-inch wheels, full LED headlights with high beam assist, power folding mirrors, keyless entry, a rear camera parking system with rear sensors, auto headlamps and wipers, and solar glass. Inside, premium spec buyers also get heat for the steering wheel and front seats. There's a useful wireless phone charging pad, 2 USB ports, an auto dimming rear view mirror and a 7-inch TFT display for the driver's supervision instrument binnacle. There's lots of infotainment and media provision too, all marshalled by a large 10.25-inch widescreen navigation centre dash touchscreen that includes satellite navigation, traffic messaging, TomTom Live services, an upgraded Infinity sound system and access to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto so that you can sync your phone in with the monitor and use various journey-related apps. Now, this setup also features Hyundai's latest BlueLink telematics system. BlueLink is Hyundai's smartphone app-based connected car service that enables drivers to carry out a number of different functions while away from their vehicles. Using the system, you can, from your smartphone, locate your car if you happen to have forgotten exactly where you parked it, and you can remotely from your smartphone start it, lock it, unlock it or adjust its climate control. Plus, BlueLink will also serve as a convenient diagnostic tool which will notify you of any vehicle maintenance issues that require your attention. If the IONIQ pricing structure leaves you able to progress further up the range, you find yourself looking at a premium SE variant like the car that we have here on test. Now, with a premium SE, you get full leather upholstery, powered and ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, front parking sensors, privacy glass, alloy pedals and an auto defog system for the front windscreen. Plus, there are some extra camera safety features that I'll come on to in a moment. And options? Well, all customers will get the opportunity to specify metallic or pearlescent paint, and on a premium SE variant you can add a tilt and slide sunroof too. Otherwise, it's a question of delving into the Hyundai accessories catalogue. Here, practicalities include a mat or a boot liner to protect the luggage area and a protective foil that'll guard against scratches on the rear bumper loading lip. Less sensible options include blue LED footwell illumination for the back of the car, LED puddle lights, or even an LED door projector that'll project the Hyundai logo onto the ground as you get out of the driver's seat at night. Unlike on a Toyota Prius, it's not possible to order a tow bar. On to safety. It would be surprising if a car as advanced as this one wasn't equipped with most of the latest camera-based safety technology, and sure enough, this one is. As we expected, an autonomous emergency braking system is standard across the range, one of those setups that scans the road ahead as you drive in search of potential collision hazards. If one is detected, you'll be warned. If you don't respond or aren't able to, the brakes will automatically be applied to decrease the severity of any resulting accident. Now, the same camera system drives another standard inclusion, this car's lane departure warning system with lane keep assist feature. That's there to let you know if your IONIQ is inadvertently straying over road markings. If you don't correct this, the car will gently guide itself back into the middle of its carriageway. As for other cutting-edge safety systems, well, both variants get smart adaptive cruise control, which you can set to automatically keep you a safe distance behind the car in front on the highway. This feature also includes a stop-and-go function that'll kick in if you come across a motorway tailback, automatically slowing and stopping your IONIQ, then automatically starting it off again. Now, there's also driver attention alert. That's there to warn you if the system senses that you're getting a bit drowsy. And an e-call system that will alert the emergency services with your exact GPS location if the airbags go off in an accident. Go for this top premium SE model and you also get a blind spot detection system that on the move alerts you if you're about to dangerously pull out in front of another vehicle. And you get a rear cross traffic alert system that warns you of oncoming vehicles when you're reversing out of a space. Otherwise, the standard safety equipment tally across both variants includes, well, pretty well all the features that you'd expect to find. So there's ESC stability control and ABS braking, plus twin front, side and curtain airbags, as well as another for the driver's knees. In addition, you get hill start assist control to prevent the car rolling backwards as you pull away on an incline, along with ISOFIX child seat fastenings and a tyre pressure monitoring system. The IONIQ plug-in model's engine, a 1.6-litre GDI direct injection petrol 4-cylinder unit with a class-leading thermal efficiency rating of 40%, is a good place to start in the design of this car. In combination with the 61 PS electric motor powered by a 8.9 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion polymer battery, it makes possible a WLTP-rated CO2 emission reading of up to 26 grams per kilometre. The WLTP combined cycle fuel return is supposed to be 256.8 miles to the gallon, though as with any plug-in model, you can take that reading with a pinch of salt. The important thing, though, is that the government believes it, hence the low benefit-in-kind tax liabilities this IONIQ plug-in model will deliver for you. As for the WLTP-rated 32-mile driving range potential, well, that's a little further than you can go in other rival plug-in models. A pricier Prius plug-in, for example, offers a rated 29-mile range. You can keep the car in EV mode by activating this EV button near the gear stick. Obviously, to get anywhere near the official quoted range figure, you'll need to be using the most sensible of the three provided driving modes, green-tinged Eco, which slightly restricts throttle travel and climate system performance. And you'll also want to keep an eye on the drive indicator to the left of the instrument binnacle screen, staying in the lower blue charge zone and out of the upper white power section. The central part of this instrument binnacle display offers a selectable energy flow monitor and a driving style readout, which rates your driving in percentage terms in economical, normal and dynamic categories. At the end of each journey, a drive info display flashes up on the binnacle to show the miles you've covered, the miles per kilowatt power output used and the time taken for the trip. All the main EV stuff, though, is located on the 10.25-inch centre dash screen. This right-hand screen tab brings up battery status, driving range and the nearest EV charging station. But there's much more. Drill down into your EV screen options and you'll find an energy information section that shows your driving range in figures, electric and petrol powered, plus the remaining percentage of battery charge. There's an Eco Drive section divided into fuel economy, graphically showing the fuel engine use and the electric motor use, and history, showing the mileage you've covered and the consumption achieved on any given date. There's also a charge management screen section, which allows you to set your own bespoke charging times so as to benefit from off-peak electricity tariffs, and set charging limits and charging current levels. Charging an IONIQ plug-in hybrid takes 2 hours 15 minutes using a 7 kilowatt wall box charger. Using a domestic 3-pin plug, you're looking at 5 to 6 hours. Finally, let's talk warranties. Most modern cars come only with an unimpressive 3-year, 60,000 mile deal. With this IONIQ, in contrast, a much more complete peace of mind package comes as standard, thanks to one of the best customer assurance plans in the industry. The 5-year triple care warranty includes 5 years of mechanical cover with no mileage limit, annual vehicle health checks, and roadside assistance. We can see why so many IONIQ sales will be of this plug-in hybrid derivative. After all, it offers so much more ownership flexibility than the ordinary full hybrid derivative, thanks to its 32-mile all-electric driving range. Some might have potential issues with it, of course. The looks aren't especially arresting, and some rivals can offer you slightly more all-electric driving range. It isn't very interesting to drive either, but then few eco models of this sort are. Still, if you can accept that, get on with the styling and adjust to the frugally focused manner this car will encourage you to ease about in, then we think you'll probably like mostly everything else about it. In fact, if for you, interest at the wheel is defined by technology, you might find this car thoroughly satisfying. It's certainly state of the art.